All right, let me bring Scott Blakeman in. Kirsten Powers, as you know, she's a contributor here at Fox News as well. She's a liberal Democrat. But she says here, whatever you think of abortion rights, this is not the kind of organization that taxpayers should be funding. In fact, the real mission of Planned Parenthood is to keep the birth rate at whatever level its leaders believe it should be.
Well, I totally disagree with Kirsten and with Penny. Now, Penny, your organization is Concerned Women of America. Aren't you concerned about women's health? You know, Planned Parenthood, it is wrong for you to say it is the nation's leading abortion provider. That's simply not true.
They are. They do most of the abortions
well, let me finish up, Penny. It's not true.
It's not,
for your organization, I'm sure, is a front for an anti-abortion group, but that's for another show.
Whatever.
But anyway, first of all, what Planned Parenthood has done...
Yeah, we're pro-life. That's correct.
Okay, it's terminology. What Planned Parenthood has done, if you're really concerned about pro-life, it's prevented over 800,000 abortions by disseminating, which may not be the right word, information for people. And it's not just minority population. People go to Planned Parenthood for advice, and it's involved with women's health. It does have cancer screening and HIV testing and all these important things. And first of all, you talk about this sting, which was run by Lila Rose, who was a disciple of James O'Keefe, who has been arrested for breaking the law. I mean, these scam video stings are not reality. They deceptively edit things.
It's on. Watch it.
Yes,
watch it.
Well,
it's
you've never
unedited online.
Yeah, I've seen the unedited footage, and it's not what the deceptively edited footage is.
All right,
First of all,
whatever.
Planned
I'd love to answer some of you.
Well, let me just finish, but it's wrong to say that the nation's lead. It's 3% of their activities involves abortion.
Well, okay. First off, there are other places. I wish I had a pen because there's so much there, but if I could take it piece by piece. First off, it's not 3%. Abby Johnson says it's at least 12, and it's probably more than that. The other thing is, if that's all they were doing was giving advice and contraceptions to poor women, no one would be. Perhaps to be upset the fact that we're wasting tax dollars, but we wouldn't be driving home the point that they're the nation's largest abortion provider. They choose to do abortions. Abby Johnson says by 2013 they're saying that every clinic has to provide abortion. The other fact is, by their own records, 98% of women who walk into their clinics pregnant have an abortion. Only 2% are giving other options and choose other options. They make money when they do abortions. It's most of what they do. And the other point is there's 4,500 health clinics around the country that serve those other needs that you mentioned. No one opposes that. The states need to fund that. That needs to be local initiatives, and we favor that.
But Penny,
if they would block grant those funds back to the states, we would support that, because women do need health care. But what we're talking about now is the nation's largest abortion provider, and the vast majority of Americans don't support using their tax dollars to pay for abortion.
Well, first of all, you're wrong about that, too.
And we can't allow the false perception to continue that somehow that they are just, they're really basically the American Red Cross these days. That's not, they can clean up their image all they want, but what they're about is abortion, and we need to tell the truth.
Penny, you just contradicted yourself very quickly. First of all, it is 3%, but even if you say it's 12% of what they do, how could you say then that's most of what they do is 12%?
Well, but Scott, does it matter whether it's 12% or 3% or really what the percentage is? The point is that if you're going to take money out of somebody's pocket and say we're going to use it to fund some other worthwhile cause, and then you put it towards something that, you know, a lot of people, a large percentage of people are highly opposed to, like abortion, you know, you may have 50% who favor it, but you've got, you know, a huge percentage who are opposed to it, and you're going to take money out of their pockets, taxpayer money, and use it to fund a group that does something that
let me answer this, Penny.
Because it's a very strong...
Well, I'll say as a very good question.
Could I add that Harris...
You know, this is like a filibuster here.
I'll just let Scott respond, and then I want you to get back in, Penny.
The answer to your good question is abortion is legal in this country, Penny.
But that doesn't mean...
let me say, it is legal, and a majority of Americans...
I don't have to pay for it.
Yes, you do. I don't want to pay for wars, but I have to.
No, I don't.
First of all...
No, Harris versus McRae, Penny, the Supreme Court said that I didn't.
You're anti-life and you're also anti-discussion. I'm trying to speak, you're pro.
Yeah, let's let him finish his point, and then Penny,
I'm trying to say that abortion is legal. It is a tiny percent of what Planned Parenthood does. As I said earlier, it prevents abortion in this country by bringing people in for counseling. It's prevented over 800,000 abortions. I'm sorry that Kirsten doesn't know that, and you don't know that. And I'm more pro-women than you are. I mean, this is defending women's health and their rights.
Right,
and abortion is legal in this country, and people should have a right to go in and have their choices spelled out for them.
Okay, Penny, go ahead.
That's all they do.
Well, I think isn't it awesome that we have men defending women?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we don't need your kind of help. Actually, what
Okay.
Planned Parenthood does is hurt women, and they hurt young women. And frankly, Patty Ann and I have some really good points here that I think you need to listen to, and that is that the majority of Americans don't want to pay for what you're suggesting we must pay for. It's not appropriate use of our tax dollars, regardless of what you think about abortion. A full 70% of Americans say that they don't want to pay for it. So regardless of how you feel, write a check to Planned Parenthood if you think that they need to continue their work.
I don't know where you get that figure from. Where's that poll? Where's your poll from?
Write a really big one.
70%. Penny, where's that poll from? 70%
we promised we would
want to
also
defund Planned Parenthood. Where's that poll? You're just making things out of, throwing things out of in the air right now.
Okay. I'm going to move on to the other issues that she brings up in her article that some groups are trying to get defunded right now. The National Endowment for the Arts, Public Broadcasting, and NPR. Penny's article saying that, our recent article by Maureen Dowd attempts to equate long overdue budget cuts with government meddling in our personal lives. Penny says that if we defunded these organizations, we would actually remove government interference from our lives. Penny, explain that. Then I'm going to let Scott respond.
And once again, what I'm suggesting is we have a deficit every year, $1.6 billion, $14 trillion overall debt. We can't afford anymore to spend money unwisely. If you want to fund these pet projects of the left, go ahead. They should raise money just like Concerned Women for America does. You are more than welcome to go to your donors and ask for the money, but why does the taxpayer have to continue to fund things that we don't have to have? They're not must-have projects.
Scott, on the chat here, we got people should pay for their own abortions. Somebody else, I have to buy my own groceries. Why can't people pay for their own abortions? Abortion is the choice of the individual, not the burden of the taxpayer.
First of all, why, Penny, are you opposed to the government helping out with the arts and humanities, and it's okay for the government to intervene in a woman's choice in her own body? It's okay for the government to say you can't have an abortion, but the government's okay to say no money for the arts. And the arts, by the way, Penny, not the left, it's America. And that's kind of a pretty sad commentary. You're saying only leftists and liberals like me like the arts, or the rest of the people, Philistines and ignorant people?
I'm just suggesting
you don't like the arts, Penny? Have you ever seen a movie? Penny, I'm asking you, have you ever seen a movie or a play or read a book? That's the arts, Penny, and that should be supported.
Okay, let's let Penny respond. Penny?
As I said, conservatives choose to buy their own tickets. You're more than welcome. We patronize the arts. Yes, I love movies. Yes, I love music. I even worked for a Christian Music Trade Association at one point. But we choose to pay our own way, and we don't expect government, the taxpayer, to pay our way into the symphony. And so what I'm suggesting, maybe in a perfect world, if there was money coming out our ears, we could make an argument for that. But that's not the case anymore. American families make hard decisions with their budget. Why can the U.S. government not have that same discussion in a rational manner? Why? You know what? We don't have to spend money. We do not owe the symphony our money. We do not owe. They need to raise their own funds.
Scott.
Simply, if you cut Planned Parenthood, NPR, and public broadcasting, and the National Endowment for the Arts, it would be 0.00001% of federal deficit. And you'd be hurting people, and American Republican Democrat, the arts, are America, makes us a great country, and your vision of America makes us a horrible country.